This is our tool for keeping track of time. Sometimes you might be working on a project before you have music created or chosen, but you know what the tempo of the music is going to be and you want to start laying out your graphics to that tempo, or maybe you're not doing any music at all and you just still want to have that rhythm within the visual elements of your composition. All of these things are what this tool was created for. So let's take a look at our new options. First of all, we can switch between 4/4 and 3/4 time, which gives you 3 or 4 beats per measure. We have the minus and plus signs for increasing or decreasing the BPMs. You can also type in a custom BPM. So if you wanted 140, there you go. Or you could also tap this button to whatever beat you want. And as you do that, it's going to update. One way that I like to do this is just by clicking on the tap button once with my finger, because I don't always trust that I get a steady beat with the mouse click, and then switch to my space bar. As long as I don't do anything else, I can tap the space bar and it's going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just gonna reset that back down to 120 beats per minute. And then we have a quarter note and an eighth note. So these are two different types of beat grids. I'll show you each of them now. Let's click on the first one. It's gonna generate a shape layer guide that doesn't have any contents, but it is nice and vibrant so you can identify it clearly at the top of your layer stack. And it's going to give you markers for measures, as well as colored keyframes for all the individual notes. I chose quarter notes, so each one of these keyframes represents a quarter note, with the highlighted keyframe being the first count in each one of these measures. And you can even see that these keyframes have values, so they align with the beat, whatever tempo that you set and whichever type of grid you set. So let's add another grid, except this time use eighth notes, and this is gonna generate something that just has twice as many beats per measure. So if you need that precision between keyframes, you have that option. Those are our two different types of beat grids from those buttons. Another feature that we have is snap to frames. This is something that comes up especially in longer compositions. Sometimes the keyframes, one every so often, will be misaligned or placed between frames. If you check on snap to frames when you generate a beat grid, they're always going to be snapped to the nearest keyframe, which more often than not aligns with whatever frame rate you're working in, but this just guarantees that each one of the keyframes for these beats will be aligned to a whole frame. Another thing you might have noticed is that the audio icon is enabled for this layer, and we have an effect up here for tone, because this is actually an audio generating metronome now, not just keyframes for visual alignment. So if I play this back, you actually hear a metronome for each beat, and the first beat of each bar, again, is a different tone. So you can actually hear the difference between beats and keep count as you're working in After Effects. This is easily disabled. If that's not a feature you want, just disable the audio for that layer and it'll go away.